Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, MOMOKA was nice enough to send me their shark switches for me to check out. You may remember MOMOKA from when I reviewed their first switches, the frogs and flamingos. Those were both linear, but the shark is their first tactile switch. Tactiles are what I prefer to use on my keyboards, so I'm excited to try them out. The colors of the switches follow the shark theme through and through, with a dark bluish purple stem, a light blue bottom housing, and a clear top housing. MOMOKA uses a unique top housing mold with a curved LED diffuser. This little feature funnily goes with the shark theme very well because it kind of looks like a fin. This LED diffuser combined with the opening on the bottom housing lets lots of light through, so you don't have to worry about it interfering with your keyboard's lighting. Inside the switch, I wanted to talk about two things. First, the pre-lubrication. In general, I like pre-lube switches because they cut out the time it takes for you to lube the switches yourself. Hand lubing is time consuming, and I can understand that not everyone has the patience for it. The MOMOKA Sharks are pre-lubed, but I wanted to complain a little bit about their application. It may be difficult to see through the video, but there's lube applied to the stem's legs. I was disappointed to find white globs on mine, which I would consider over-lubricated. I'm also against lubing the stem legs in the first place because it decreases the tactile feel. Surprisingly, this over-lubrication actually wasn't that big of a deal in the end, but I'll talk more about that later on. Before that, I wanted to show you guys the spring. It has a part in the center where the coils are much closer together, similar to the ends. This is a double stage spring. Double stage springs mean the beginning of the force curve starts steeper at the first half and flattens out the second. This is a graphic I found for split multi-stage springs. Feel free to pause the video to take a closer look if you need to. Again, notice the blue lines where it has that steeper first half and flatter second. As for everyone's favorite topic, sound, the sharks fall in the clacky category. Strangely, most of the sound comes from the top out and not the bottom out. Take a listen to this comparison. This loud top out is going to be the main sound you hear when typing at full speed. It makes me wonder what the switches would sound like if they use a different top housing material. It may even be worth experimenting with different top housings yourself if you're into that kind of thing. The tactile feel of these switches needs a lot of discussion because there's a lot going on. I'll put up a copy of the force graph for reference while I talk about my experience. The actual bump is immediate, but it feels short, and by short, I mean short in length, not intensity. The actual intensity of the bump is satisfying, and I would consider it large. That's surprising because of the lube stem legs I was worried about before. Lubing the stem legs would typically lead to a more linear feel, so it's interesting that the bump is actually pronounced and distinct. So yeah, you don't have to worry about the lube affecting the tactility. The double stage spring makes the second half of the press feel light. This combined with the short and intense tactility makes these sharks feel super poppy. And then you're met with a soft bottom out. Pressing the sharks out of the keyboard, I might describe it as a mushy bottom out, but in the keyboard, I think soft is a better way of describing it. Mushy is too negative a word for me to use, and the feeling isn't as intense as the tactile feel, so soft is the most appropriate way for me to describe it. You can really feel how all the different characteristics that MOMOKA chose for this switch come together into a cohesive experience. These switches are an excellent choice for people who enjoy clacky switches with prominent tactility. They can be bought for around 63 cents per switch, making them a standardly priced product. The link to MOMOKA's store will be in the description for you to check out. And before we listen to the full sound test, remember to subscribe to support my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.